In a world where technology is a thing of the past, something attacks a remote Siberian monastery that contains books written by the users. The monastery is destroyed, the monks slaughtered, the books stolen. Only Va the monk, an ex-soldier and assassin, survives and vows to retrieve the books before they're misused. The users, who might be us, cause great destruction and the reversal. 1,000 years have passed since the Great War destroyed civilization and radically changed the geography and environment with massive climate alterations. The age of the machine users was gone, replaced by a church enforced dark age in which science is forbidden and technology is outlawed. The stolen books hold all of the users' dangerous knowledge, the lost art. Va struggles through this world, though he does have some help. There is a magician, a princess, a visitor from the stars, a soldier, a slave, and a boy who looks after camels, and an angel. The Lost Art is a science fiction novel, but that's about the only thing you can be sure of. No one is quite what they seem. Events have a habit of taking an unexpected turn, and the world is just a little bit bigger than most people thought. It has fights, chases, monsters, rockets, explosion, giant robots, betrayal, passion, and true love. So what's lost? Science itself.
I Am an Emotional Creature by Eve Ensler. These are actually fictional monologues and stories that Eve Ensler wrote based on interviews that she made with girls from all over the world. Among the girls Ensler creates are an American who struggles with peer pressure in a suburban high school, an anorexic blogging as she eats less and less, a Maasai girl from Kenya unwilling to endure female genital mutilation, a Bulgarian sex slave, no more than 15, a Chinese factory worker making Barbies, an Iranian student who is tricked into a nose job, a pregnant girl trying to decide if she should keep her baby. Through rants, poetry, questions, and facts, we come to understand the universality of girls everywhere, their resilience, their wildness, their pain, their fears, their secrets, and their triumphs.
And that's a book about New York public schools, written in 1965. Nevertheless, it's still very contemporary. And two reasons why, well, more than two, but two interesting reasons why I chose this book is because this year, two anniversaries. One, it's the 45th anniversary since the book was first published in 1965. The second anniversary, which is even more interesting, the author of the book, Belle Kaufman, was born in 1911. So guess how old will she be next year? 100. Yes, and guess what? I didn't say how old she would be. I said how old she will be because she is still alive. She is still a New Yorker. She's a former English teacher, okay? And the funny story was after the book was published, a few months later, Kaufman actually spoke about that in one of her presentations. I think it's also in the introduction here. She said, I got a letter from Board of Ed saying that, very proud letter, saying that they read the book, they realized what problems the book actually raised. And they had a special discussion on that, and there are new initiatives that the Board of Ed is taking based on her book, so they're very pleased to announce that there is a change in public school system that is totally based on her book. From now on, everyone can go on any staircase in any direction.
My book is My Life in France. It's a memoir by Julia Child. For those of you who know Julia Child is one of the great icons of American culture and cuisine, this story will help you gain insight into the struggles and hard work she had to endure to achieve her fame. For those of you who do not know Julia, she began her career in Washington, where she volunteered in one of the diplomatic government offices. She married and traveled the world, moving to Paris at an early age, where she took classes in the famous culinary institute, the Cordon Bleu, and later became one of the master chefs of the world. It is a story about her life and travels through the French language and culture. So if you like all things French and all things American,
Some of you may be familiar with Libba Bray. She is an award-winning author, a Little Red parent, a regular Book Week visitor, and an all-around awesome person. What you will not be familiar with is the content of Going Bovine, because this is nothing like her girl power Victorian fantasy trilogy that you may have heard about. This is in fact one of those books that, summing up, really misses half of the good stuff, if not more, but here's my best shot. Cameron Smith is a nothing. He chooses to fly under the radar because really, what's the point? Except there's one strange little problem. The flames he imagined in class, that Tourette's-like moment when he knocked out his twin sister's thug of a boyfriend? Yeah, it wasn't drugs, it wasn't exhaustion, it wasn't schizophrenia, it wasn't a nervous breakdown. It was the fact that he's turning into a mental sponge because he has mad cow disease. But he's not dying without living a little. So he breaks out of the hospital with his best friend, a dwarf named Gonzo, following the cryptic advice of a punk rock angel, she wears pink combat boots, and a garden gnome who might also be an ancient Norse god, and goes on the strangest freaking road trip you could ever imagine. A modern-day Don Quixote, a psychedelic, hallucinatory road trip. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll learn a little bit more than you expected about physics. Read it. What does it mean to succeed in America? For Shanzeh, it means assimilating, forgetting his upper-class childhood in Pakistan, and embracing a new identity. Princeton graduate, elitist, crass consumer, and player in the world of high finance. But even as he becomes what he despises, he watches the towers fall. Suddenly, being Pakistani in America means something different. In love with a woman who mourns for a past lover, stuck in an America whose patriotism reeks of nostalgia, and longing for a country he no longer knows, Shanzeh finds himself transformed yet again, fueled by anger and pain, into a reluctant fundamentalist. Andre Agassi's incredibly rigorous training began when he was just a child. By the age of 13, he had been banished to a Florida tennis camp that felt like a prison camp to him. Lonely, scared, a ninth grade dropout, he rebelled in ways that turned him into an icon of the 80s. He dyed his hair, he pierced his ears, he dressed like a punk rocker. And by the time he turned pro at 16, his look promised to change tennis forever, as did his lightning-fast return. He struggles, and ultimately he wins the '92 Wimbledon. His near-photographic memory brings to life every match he's played, as well as his off-court relationships, concluding with his fairy tale marriage to Steffi Graf. Whether you're a fan or all you know about tennis is that you think they use rackets, this is a book that will captivate you.